Welcome back. Today we are building a very fancy graveyard, and I'm building it because I am going to need it for my Royal Family Let's Play. You can check that out on my channel if you'd like. And this is very loosely inspired by the Taj Mahal because I typed mausoleum into Google to get some ideas, and that came up, and I was like, first off, I'm exactly the kind of idiot with a public school education that didn't know that people are buried there. And then also, I just really liked the look of like the fountain going up to the front door. And then I was like, oh, well, I could use the new kit and it would be beautiful. And so that's where we went with this. And I am just making the main building here, and it is making sure it's centered. So um, basically, I wanted this main building in the back to be for like a really important person, so like the king or the queen. And then there'll be a couple of smaller mausoleums for like, say, nobility, and then there's plenty of grass space for just like outside graves, like maybe less important people. So that's what we went with. And I was just kind of struggling to figure out how I wanted to do this gateway that goes up to it. So I was trying to figure out different gates, different archways, the spandrels, that kind of stuff. So I decided to go with this black fence and then put tiny little white columns with little spiky things on the top. And then I also put an archway around this. Now I'm unsure if your Sims can walk through it yet. We will find out. But there's the potential that they can't. But yes, I'm just doing some tests of different kinds of things on the top here and different looks for that. I decided to go with a white spiky thing. I don't even know what they're called. Um, but yeah, so we size up this archway and then put it there, and then put the columns around it a little taller, and then put little decoration things on it. And I did want to put some statues out front as well. I just wanted it to be very ornate and very like rich people are buried here. So we are going in with these little spikes, and I am not going to make you suffer through watching me place them all the way around this entire build. So we'll just do the front together here. I'll do the back later. And here we go, last one. So then we are going to look for some statues for out front. I love to use this one from the vampire pack of the woman. I just think that it's so pretty. And then I just pulled out a couple of other things, but we are going to look at the front here and the fountain that is leading up to it. So I did want to make it so that it was very much like a water feature piece. And there'll be staircases on either side of this foundation. There we go. And then the fountain is going to be up the middle. There's going to be some trees, the whole shebang. I was going to use some kind of tile, stone, something. So I ended up using the marble from, is it Get Famous? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. It's whichever one I end up picking right here. So I use that one, and we are just going to go all the way down here, kind of an entrance, and then you walk in and you can go either to the right or the left in order to go around the fountain. And here it is. I'm going to put some lights in it and some water feature fountain-y. I don't even know what they're called. Oh my gosh, my vocabulary is excellent. The like spouts, what are they? I don't know. Um, you'll see in just a second. So I'm also just going to add in some grass that has like little flowers on it for the tree area. Yeah, so here are the lights, and then I do put another little fountain thing right there just to make sure it doesn't end so abruptly. So there are the lights, and then here are the other fountain things, whatever you want to call those. So then we're also going to put trees all around. I did size them down to make them a little more manicured. And they go on both sides. So that is kind of the centerpiece of this. So you walk in and there's the beautiful fountain and the trees, and it just looks nice. Anyway, I'm going to put a sign right here, maybe like a, I don't know, do graveyards have signs like to tell you where to go? But I am going to use one from, actually, I don't know what pack that's from, but we put like a plaque on it that has a crown on it because, like I said, I am going to put my royal family here. So let's just call it like a royal graveyard. So what I'm thinking is that the big building in the back is for the royal family, and then each of the mausoleums are for the ducal families, and then after that is the outside space is kind of for all the other nobility. So this is not for the peasants, but we are going to put some flags in here. I wish these flags came in better swatches. I really do. But then we are going to move over here and put some bushes out front. Want to make it nice flowers. And I made the foundation so high that I don't care if it clips into the building. On the other side too, we're very symmetrical here. And then we are going to put these really lovely trees. I just think that they're so pretty. I wanted this to be like very pretty. I mean, I have a lot of other builds on my channel that are like kind of dingy, dark, graveyardy type things, and I wanted this to be very like pristine, well taken care of, that kind of thing. So here we go. And then we also are going to use the kit, the Oasis, Courtyard Oasis kit, like I said. So I'm going to use a lot of archways and these pretty doors, and I just think that they look so nice. And then we are going to make sure the door faces the right way, and then put the archways across here, and then also over here. You can see I kind of sectioned off those areas into like little tiny rooms. I was thinking about doing a big arch, but I have no idea how to cut the wall out of that, so we're just gonna accept it. And then mimic that on the top. The top is going to get fencing as well. And then we're going to use these windows in the archway spots. It only needs one door going in. And so there's going to be several chambers in this build, like in the building back here, in order to, have maybe each generation have their own section. We'll kind of have to see. But um, there's going to be, I think, 6 sections on this first floor. The second floor is entirely dedicated to the founding queen. And I did leave most of this graveyard empty just because, I mean, none of the Sims in my Let's Play have died yet, so I don't have any graves to put here anyway. But on top of that, I wanted you to be able to put your own Sims graves in here. So I just did like a couple of example places and then left spots for the other, um, for you to fill in yourself. So here we are going around the top here. I just wanted there to be, kind of a fancy roof. So I put this here and then two glass on either side and then one in the middle. So this roof is going to be a glass roof, and then this roof is going to be like the main, I don't know, the main roof. So you can see right there. And then we are going to make that like that, and we'll put some stuff across the top as well, wanting it to decorate as much as possible. It was just kind of waffling between a few ideas, but this is the one we end up going with. I love using these things for some reason. So here we are. We have to put them on the little side pieces as well. And also I'm getting in these fancy kind of, I don't even know what these things are, but I think that they look good. So we are just putting that across there. And then I thought maybe I'd put some more, but I didn't want to go too crazy here. So there is that. And then we're just going in with the wallpaper. And I wanted a fence across here. So we actually just go with the kit fence as well. I was kind of, trying to decide which one I wanted to use, but I think that this one looks good. And there is little gaps there, so I was like, how do I get rid of those little gaps? So I thought that I would use some columns to get rid of that, just in those places where it doesn't quite meet the wall there, because the column is not up against the tile. And then we'll put a more ornate roof trim and then a smaller trim around the middle. And oh my gosh, do I struggle with the roofing and stuff. Not the roofing, the having an open floor to the next floor down, I struggle so much with. So I am going to speed through those sections so that you don't have to really watch that. But here we are back outside. I think I am going to go back inside in just a moment. I'm trying to remember why I must have been thinking for a really long time right there. Yeah. So here we're going to try and get this open floor thing that I end up changing again later. So I am going to go a little faster through this piece so that you don't have to watch as I make attempts to do that. I wanted it to kind of be like a feature wall, I guess, up here, just like a space. You come in and you look up, and there's like a portrait and the urn of the founder. So I wanted it to be fancy. And I was going to close it off like this, but I do actually end up changing that a bit because of the placement of the other sections down on the first floor. But we'll get to that in just a second. So here I'm fixing the wallpaper and such. And of course, I have no idea how to make it so that the roof trim doesn't come in the house like that. So we are just going to pretend it's on purpose and put a couple columns there, call it good. And then we do want to have a nice little area when you first walk in. So we are going to put a little bust and portrait in here, some flags, just some fancy kind of things. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to fill up too much of this because I want you to be able to place portraits of your Sims and stuff. So I just placed a couple of example portraits, and you can replace them with, um, you know, portraits of your Sims. At least that was what I was going to do with it anyway. So now I'm just looking over to these sections, and we are going to put 3 sections on each side for each family, I suppose. So you can see I'm just going to place a couple of those, and then, fountain in the middle. It was just too bare in the center there. So you can see we're sectioning this off into 3 rooms on each side. And those rooms are going to get a pedestal in each of them. So that is kind of going to be for each maybe generation, because as the families, the children will get like married off into other families and can probably be put in the mausoleums of those families. But I think we won't have too many Sims per generation who actually stay in the household. So here is one. I was looking for an urn, but for some reason, whenever I tried to place any of the debug ones, they just disappeared. So we're just going to place a fake one from the catalog here. We're just pretend that that's an urn. This is your example space. So you can see there's an urn. There's a picture of the guy whose urn it will be, and that's what we'll call good. And then I'm just going to put one of these in each of these rooms. And I'm actually going to make these back ones a little bigger because I want to put stairs down to the basement. And the reason that I want to do that is because if, you play for a really, really long time, you might run out of space. So I wanted you to be able to go down into like maybe some catacombs or something like that and place more things down there if you do run out of space. So that's the plan. I did not put anything down here, just the stairs and a little room, just only if you need it. So then we are going to fix up a little bit here. And very shortly I will go back into struggling with the second floor plan thing, because as you can see in just a second, because I added those walls, there's just like walls and then empty on top, so I don't like the way that that looks here. So let's go really fast through here because it was a total disaster the entire time. I tried to remake the room and it didn't remake the room that I wanted it to make, and I just was like, forget it. Um, so here we are trying to make that work, and I think that it turned out okay there. So we will add some columns for that roof trim and then move on to, this is going to be the founder area. So you'll see there's a pedestal, an urn, and then a portrait. And then I'm just going to add like a bunch of, say, like people come and leave flowers and little lanterns and candles and just all that kind of stuff. So very much like a shrine. And then we will go into lighting because it's going to get dark. Um, so I don't really know how it works when you have an open floor and you put the light hanging above and the floor above. So I just put a couple more like little tiny saucer lights that you can't really see, but just to, pretend that the light from the floor above is making it brighter in there. And then we'll add some more right here. And I also did want to add a little more lighting over here. It's really hard to see that portrait in the dark. I even put lights above it and still I feel like you can't see it. But you know what? Don't come here at night. It's creepy. It's scary. It's graveyard. So um, then we are doing this with these little lanterns outside. And then I'm going to quickly put lights all the way around this walkway here. And then we will move on into the other sections. So we'll have 4 mausoleums. They'll all be the same. Right now I'm like, oh yes, I'll make 4 boxes. And then later I was like, what are you doing? Like, just make one and then copy it. So that's what we're going to do in just a second. So there's going to be 4 of them. And here is the first one. We're just going to make one of them and then, like I said, copy it. Yeah, so here's where I'm realizing that this was dumb. So then I am going to just make one of them right here in the back left. Yeah. And it's going to have a similar aesthetic, obviously. So I'm going to put the arch and then the door, and then I'll use the windows instead of more arches. Here we go. And then inside, we're just going to put a pedestal and a couple on the sides and a portrait. And so that's your example there. And again, you can always put in a staircase and build down if you have so many generations that you fill this up for the family that belongs here. So don't worry about that. You got 4 basement levels. I hope that you can't fill them up. So then we are just going to add in the roof and it's going to hang over. We'll put some columns down right here. And then some like bushes out front. I wanted to be able to copy the room, which is why I made this into a little room. And then I'm just going to put a decoration on the top here. Just the thing from vampires. And of course the roof thingies. And yeah, here we go. We're just going to put that there. Except the only problem is it doesn't copy over, which is a huge struggle, but it's fine. I wish that you could copy the entire house. But you win some, you lose some. Maybe there is a way to do that and I just don't know it. So I have to copy over, what, 4, 5 things? It's fine. So there we go. And there are going to be 4 of these, like I said. So we'll put the other 2 over, symmetrical to the other side, and then there'll be walkways to each of these. I actually change up the walkway quite a bit from what it's going to look like here because I did want to leave some outside space for other graves. So what I'm going to do is just make this space a little bigger. You can put some graves in that grassy space and the grassy space next to the one on the top left right now. So there is plenty of room for all of that. And then I'm just going to copy over these again. And then we will copy over one more time. That was a struggle. So yeah, this whole thing was a struggle. You should have seen how much I cut out of this in order to make it not as much struggle as it was. But anyway, so I'm going to have the same walkways. Like I said, it is very symmetrical. And then we'll get the fourth one in here. Here we go. And I think that they all pretty came out pretty good. So I am excited to start using this. I really am. So I hope that you like it, and I hope that, if you want, you can download it for your Sims and add in their graves. I am not going to make you watch as I start to place terrain paint all the way around, and then the spikes all the way around, and the columns. So um, just trust that I did this after um, right here I'm realizing, am I really going to just videotape doing terrain paint all the way around? So I'm not going to do that. And instead, we will head into screenshots very, very shortly. Here we go. So here are the final screenshots. I think that it came out really great. I'm really excited about it. I think that it's beautiful and I can't wait to start using it. Not that that's not morbid at all. So here is one of the smaller mausoleums, just the little example. Here is the main one. And I think that it's great. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I put it up in the gallery so you can download it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.